Bye, have a great time.
ADR, this is King Black, and I wanted to share a story with you guys today about the gang that I almost joined before becoming a Latin King. Now, back in the days when MySpace started to take off, that's how long ago it was. Way back when, before I came into my association with the nation, I had some acquaintances from Norte 14, some Norteños, and this is maybe about a year and a half before the whole Latin King thing started. I'm talking about a decade and a half ago, and I almost became a norteño because where I was, there was a relatively small presence of them. I would put their number back then around 50, and I almost became one, but I moved away mid-year to a place that didn't exist. Norte 14 didn't have a presence. It's not like maybe the Bloods, Crips, even the Land Kings to a large extent has a presence almost everywhere you have ever been to. You'll find the graffiti tagged on fence posts, storefronts, houses, garages, etc. Now, Norte 14 is a predominantly Mexican gang that originally started in California. I'm not going to get into the history of it because I'm not a Norteño, so I can't speak about specifics. However, outside of California, sets are few and far between. I think the Serranos, the Sur 13, has had better success branching out from California, especially with the coalition with the MS-13. Um, they definitely have expanded their reach, kind of like a spider web, throughout the states. Now, with the two epicenters of the Norte, of the Norteños, I would say is Cali and Texas. I saw only a couple during my time in the Midwest, and even then it was close to Texas. Now, they aren't as widespread as 13, but they can be just as violent, just as ruthless, just as quick to instigate violence if they so choose to. They take their territory very seriously, and they don't really care if they catch you in a public place like a mall or store. There is a basic understanding that there are times and places where incidents are okay to happen. I mean, in my personal point of view, going to a mall or anything like that, if I saw a rival of mine, I'm not gonna just, especially if I'm with my kid or my wife, I'm not gonna drop everything and just go beat the crap and commit an assault in a public place where everybody has cell phones, they have security cameras, and it's a public place. Nobody owns that mall. It's not territory of anybody. There's just certain things in your day to day that you're bound to cross with the other organizations. You just have to know where the neutral zones are or where the neutral zones should be. Nobody should be afraid to take their kids to the mall because they're afraid a shootout is going to happen. That's just crazy. That's just craziness happening right there. Now, being being an impressionable kid at the time, seeing how out there they were representing and having been school friends with a couple of them, talking about the Daniels before I moved away. But I was always hesitant though, because whereas when I was presented with joining the Land Kings, I didn't even give it a second thought. But I was hesitant to join the Daniels, which I never did. Now, to me, right, in my own opinion, the Lion Kings has the most substance of any organization I've ever encountered. None of my coronas, my higher ups, or anyone in superior positions have ever encouraged me to engage in criminal activity, neither to become a part of a nation or to keep my place within it. Whereas at the time with the Norteños, I was told not only was it going to be a certain beaten initiation, but in order to stay in the set, I would have to commit a crime witnessed by two other members. Now, for me, this presented a couple of problems. It just didn't work. I was and am focused on two things in my life: being in for life, and secondly, staying free. Any organization that doesn't let you live in a manner that keeps you out of bars, then you need to seriously rethink the company you want to keep. You can either live constantly running or build yourself a kingdom, a legacy. Had I joined Norte 14 back then, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be living right because those around me at the time fostered violence without provocation and other stuff as important and necessary. I may have just turned into another statistic that media points to as where life in an organization leads. I want those that hear me to listen. The problem with having also going back to I will have to commit a crime witnessed by two other members. That creates a major problem because if you're out there doing things that are illegal, which I'm not saying that I advocate or promote, and you have witnesses that were there in person, when something goes bad for them, what do you think they're going to pull out of their hat when they're being interrogated for whatever crime they're being picked up for? They're going to be slick and say, I have information on X, Y, or Z because I was there, and I also know the name of the other person that was there and the one who committed it. And let's say if you had done it by yourself without anybody knowing, you probably would have maybe never have gotten caught. But because this is part of initiation, you will always have that hanging over your head. It could be 15 years down the road, and for whatever reason, if you left in good standing from whatever set you claim, or you move to a place that they don't even exist and you're just living as a neutral now, 10, 15 years down the road, you can still have cops, FBI, whatever, come arrest you for a crime that you committed 15 to 20 years ago just because there was somebody there to tell that story. And I could be wearing this red bandana on my face as part of the Norteños, but I'm glad that I didn't take that route. Now, I don't have anything against them. Like I said, I've had a few friends that were in it. It just wasn't for me. It didn't align with my goals for my life. And the way that I try to counsel those who, let's face it, man, you can present all the dangers you want to these kids and teens, but if they truly want to be a part of something, they're going to do it. So I just try to make sure that they don't do nothing crazy, they don't live crazy, that they stay free.